Hello everybody, my name is Lauren and this is Yoga and Coffee Breaks. For today's practice, I had a special request for a yoga flow that was easier on the knees for people who have sensitive knees, maybe some flaring arthritis. So we want to be gentle with the movements that we do and the positions we're in. This would also be a really great practice for those of us who have extremely tight hamstrings and lower extremities in general. Great way to build stability, balance, and get some flexibility in as well. So what are we going to need today? I have a yoga mat. Yoga mat's pretty optional since we aren't going to be going down to the mat at all today. It's more so just so we have our designated space that we will be working with. We will need at least one chair and a wall. I recommend having two chairs, one at the front of your mat and one at the back. That way you don't have to move the chair mid-flow, but you can also do that as well if you only have one chair available to you. Your mat, if you are using a mat, you're going to want it to be about an arm's length away from the wall. So if you're standing in the middle of the mat, you can bring your hand to the wall at about arm's length. Again, if you don't have a mat, that's fine. Just bring yourself arm's length away from the wall. So I think that covers everything that we need to start with. Let's jump right in. There will be notes at the end of this video so that if you want to do this flow on your own at home at your own time, you can very well do so. This flow has been designed so that you can do a couple cycles if you have the time for it. So it's going to be kind of a short flow that we're doing together, but again, you can do this as many times as you want. With all that said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in the middle of our mat. Feet are about hip width distance apart. We're going to ground through our feet, spread your toes nice and wide, soft bend in the knees. We're going to zip up through the inner thighs, tuck the pelvis under slightly, shoulders roll up, down, away from the ears, palms face forward, slight tuck of the chin, Tadasana, mountain pose. Find your stability, find your strength. Maybe close your eyes if it's available to you, or soften your gaze. Exhale all breath from your body. Take a deep breath into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And exhale the chest, the ribs, the belly. Again, into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Last time into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And exhale the chest, the ribs, and the belly. You close your eyes, slowly blink them open. And we're going to start our flow. Your left hand is going to come to the wall. Your right hand is going to come to your hip. We're going to bend our knees slightly. We're going to shift our weight to that left foot, the foot that's closest to the wall. You're going to pop that right heel. So we're going to tell our body, hey, we're about to start balancing. Once you're ready, you can start to lift that right foot off the ground and then extend the leg fully. Flex the toes. On an exhale, you're going to bend the knees nice and slow. Inhale, extend the leg, squeeze that quad. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, extend. We're going to do 5 full rounds, so we got 2 more here. Inhale, extend, squeeze the quad. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, extend. And exhale, nice and slow. Bring that right foot down. Redistribute your weight evenly between both feet. You're going to lift that right arm up. Fingertips reach up towards the ceiling, kind of grow out of that right hip slightly. And then with the arm straight, you're going to tip over towards the wall, little side stretch. Try not to hide your face with that upper arm. Really open up the chest towards the ceiling. And breathing into that right rib cage. Inhale, coming back through center. We're going to bring that right hand to our hip. Left hand reaches up. We're going to pop that right heel again, shifting our weight to that left foot. We're going to do some marches or some bird dog variation standing up. And with control, you're going to engage your core by tucking the pelvis under, knitting those floating ribs in. And when you're ready, you're going to lift that right knee and then lower that left elbow. You don't want the right knee coming up too high. Right here is just fine in line with your hip. And you're gonna bring that elbow down to 90 degrees. And then you're gonna inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it together. If this is a lot for your balancing leg, bring that hand to the wall and always keep a slight bend in the knee of that grounded foot. We're gonna do 5 of these as well, bringing the knee up, soft touch down. We have 3 more. And last one. We're gonna step our foot forward, coming to the top of our mat. And we're gonna bring the chair closer to us. Hand comes to the wall, right hand comes to the hip. We're gonna pop that right knee, shift our weight to that left foot, engage the core. You're gonna hover the toes off the mat. Again, soft bend in that supporting leg. And you're gonna graze your mat or the ground as you send the right toes back behind you for a low lunge. Couple things here. We really wanna make sure that our knee is not caving in towards that big toe. Really press that knee out to that pinky edge of your foot. And then for stability, your back foot, we don't want it directly behind our front foot. That's going to make it very hard to balance. And even though we have the wall here, we want to really be light on the wall. Okay, so we're going to step that back foot out so that we're more on train tracks rather than a tight rope. We're going to tuck the pelvis under slightly, knit those floating ribs in. And once you find that good, strong foundation in your lunge, we're going to inhale, our arms reach up. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more breath in. Breath out. And our hands are going to find the chair in front of us. You can bring the chair closer to you so that your hands are more underneath your shoulders. We want to make sure that that knee stays over that ankle. Big breath in. Lengthen the spine. Big breath out. We're going to start coming into pyramid pose, straightening that front leg. It's okay if it doesn't straighten all the way, and it's okay if that back heel doesn't reach the ground. Your back foot is at about a 45-degree angle, pointing towards that front corner of your mat. If you need to, you can bring that back foot in just a little bit. Wherever you are, I just want you to make sure that that right hip is not opening up to the side of our mat. We want to really try to resist that by pushing that hip down. Big breath in, lengthen through the spine. Big breath out. See what tension you can release in the back of the left leg. If you want a little bit more, if you have a little bit more space in the hamstring and you want to go a little deeper, you can always drop down to your elbows onto that chair. Big breath in, lengthen through the spine. Big breath out. We all come back up to our hands. If we drop down, we bend into that front knee, coming into a little twist. That left hand is going to reach back towards the back of our mat, so we're facing the wall here. You can bring that hand to your hip or to your ear, or reach the hand up to the ceiling. Now, this movement is all about the rotation in the mid-spine. It's not about how high up you can get your hand. If you're feeling any pain in the shoulder, I want you to bring the hand to your ear, your back, or reach the hand back to the back of your mat. Big breath in. Big breath out. Really making sure that we're not letting that front knee cave in or going past the ankle. We really want to keep it in line throughout this whole flow. Bring that hand back to the chair. Big breath in. Big breath out. We're going to hop those back toes in slightly so that we have a bit more of a sturdy lunge. You're going to push the chair away from you slightly. And then once you're ready, you're going to engage your core, really find your firm foundation between your feet, and then inhale, lift the arms up, finding your high lunge. You can bring your hand to the wall for some support. You're going to shift forward slightly, really load up that front leg. And then once you're ready, you're going to start to balance, bringing that right foot back to the front of the mat. And then the foot finds the ground, hands to heart center. Big breath in. Big breath out. We're going to step out into the middle of our mat, a little wide-legged position. Not too wide. Our feet are just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Your hands are going to come to your hips, and then on an inhale, you're going to puff out your chest. We're getting a little stretch just in front of the chest, maybe a little bit in the front of the neck. If you want more, you can bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows out nice and wide. I already feel a stretch right here. And then if you want more, inhale, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, gaze goes up, baby back bend. Breathing wherever you are. Coming back through center, hands come to your hips. And now we're just going to face the back of our mat, keeping ourselves in the center of our mat. And we're just going to start the whole flow all over again on this side. So we're going to bring the right hand to the wall this time. Bend in the knees, shift our weight to that right foot, pop the left heel, get ready to balance, engage the core, tuck the floating ribs in, and then extend the leg out in front of you. Bend nice and slow. Inhale, extend, squeeze that quad, nice and slow, and extend, slow. 2 more, extend, exhale, nice and slow. Last one, inhale, extend, and exhale, slow. Coming back to center, grounding both feet. Inhale that left hand up to the ceiling. Come out of that left hip slightly. Keep the arms straight. Side stretch. Big breath into that left side of your rib cage. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, coming back through center. Left hand comes to your hip. Right hand this time reaches up to the ceiling. Soft bend in the knees. Shift your weight to that right foot. Pop the left heel. We're coming to those standing marches or standing bird dogs, whatever you'd like to call them. And once you're ready, we're going to lift that left knee. Right elbow bends. Inhale. Exhale. Keeping the core engaged. Inhale. Exhale. Always an option to bring that hand back to the wall. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. And then we're just going to step our foot forward and then bringing our right foot to meet the left. From here, shifting the weight back to that right foot. Again, you can bring the hand to the wall, pop the left heel, balance, and then send the left toes back behind you, finding your lunge. Again, we're making sure that knee is over the ankle, knee is pressing out to the outside edge of our foot, and our back foot's not directly behind our front foot. We got some space. We're on railroad tracks. From here, find your balance, engage your core, arms reach up. Big breath in, big breath out. Another breath in and out. Bring our hands down to the chair. Bring the chair closer to you if you need to. Hands down, settle in. And once you're ready, we're coming back to our pyramid pose, straightening that front leg as much as feels comfortable for us. Making sure that that left hip isn't opening up, it's locking down and in. If you'd like, you can drop down to your elbows. Every inhale, think create space in the back of your leg. And every exhale, you get to move into that space you created. Inhale, walk your hands back up. If you drop down, bend into that front knee, coming into our twist variation. Right arm reaches back. Maybe it reaches all the way up. Making sure that the twist is initiated in the mid-spine. Big breath in, big breath out. One more breath in, breath out. Bring that hand back down to the chair. The back toes come in slightly, so we have a nice firm foundation in our low lunge. And on an inhale, we come up to high lunge. Push the chair away. Give yourself some space. Hand comes to the wall. We're going to shift forward slightly, loading that supporting foot. And when you're ready, we're going to start to float the left toes, finding our little balance. And then bringing our foot down, hands to heart center. And then you can step out, find your wide-legged stance. One more little baby back bend, hands to the hips or hands behind your head. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then release, bring your hands to your hips. Step forward to the front of your mat, and this is where you can do a whole nother cycle if you want to do another round. Otherwise, we're just going to take a seat in our chair. Feet are underneath our knees, and then hands are going to rest on our thighs. And sit up nice and tall. Really ground those sit bones down into your chair. Lengthening your spine one vertebra at a time. Shoulders roll up, down, away from the ears. Slight tuck of the chin. So we lengthen the back of our neck. Sitting up nice and proud. Feeling the ground, the connection between the soles of our feet and the earth. Softening your gaze, maybe closing your eyes all the way. And exhale all breath from your body. Take a deep breath in. May I be free from fear. Exhale. Inhale, may I be at ease. Exhale. Inhale, may I be happy. Exhale fully. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Thank yourselves, thank your bodies, and thank your internet neighbors for their energy. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and I will do my best to help you out in any way that I can. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, and the flow notes will be at the end.